This cakewalk tutorial might seem a little small, but this one trick can help you to finish every single song or track that you start by using the Cakewalk Markers or the Cakewalk Arranger track, which is far more helpful than the markers. I'm Zane, welcome to Audio Tech TV, where it's my goal to help you conquer the tech so you can unleash your creative beast. Now, I just started working on a new song and I thought I would share this trick with you that helped me to finish every single song that I've started, and it's so easy to do. You can even use this as a songwriting tool if you wanted. And like I said earlier, this is about using Cakewalk Markers or the Cakewalk Arranger track. And what we're going to do is create the structure of our song before we even start to record it. And this is going to help when we do start recording, as we're going to know what each section is, what needs to be worked on, and where it needs to be worked on. So this is like having a roadmap for your song. And don't worry, if you need to change things up later on, you can easily do that. And I'm going to show you how easy it is by using the Arranger track. But first, let's have a look at Cakewalk Markers. You might have used markers before. They're very easy to use. You just put the cursor wherever you want it, say right here, press M on your computer keyboard, then give it a name. And you can see we now have a marker right here. But one thing you're going to notice is the font is really small and it doesn't really stand out. It's kind of gray on gray, so it may not help you the best just using the markers. But if you're cool with using just the markers, then you can continue on with what I'm going to do, just using the markers, and not worry so much about the Arranger track, except a little later on in the video where I show you some cool things that you can do with the Arranger track that you can't do with the markers. But if you're just going to be setting up the structure of your song and you're happy with the font size and how these look, then you can go with the markers. But what I'm going to show you now is the Arranger track. And if you don't see it already, you can click over here on this A, and you can see we now have the Arranger track. Also, if you didn't have the little sidebar collapse like I did there, you'll see the A is right here. And another way you can do this is to press the A on your computer keyboard, and you can see that's going to bring it up and down. So we have our Arranger track now. And this is extremely easy to use, and it helps you a lot more than markers, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do now is, based on the idea that we have a song written either in our head, on paper, or wherever you write your songs down to. I use Microsoft OneNote for all my songs, so that's where I have them all written. But like I said, what I'm doing is based on the idea we kind of have a song written out in our mind, and that's what we're going to work on here. So for my song, I want it to start out with an 8-bar intro. So all I have to do is click here and drag for 8 bars. There we go. And you can see we have section 1. Now we want to rename this to something else. So you can double click on that and you can see it brings up the sections view over here. Or if you have this collapsed, you can just click there, click on the A again, and you can see all of your sections over here. So we'll double click right here and you can see we can rename that. So I'm going to call this intro, and we can also give this a color. So let's say I want to give it that color. There we go. And another cool thing you'll notice right away is there's a play button here. So when we start to get our song put together, we can just play the section back if we really wanted to, which can be really nice if you're doing some fine details for a specific section. This can really help you with that. So you might be wondering, we haven't recorded anything. We don't have really our song except for it's in our head. How do we know how long to make each section? Well, what I do is I typically grab a guitar or my bass guitar, or sometimes I'll even sing along to the click track. So I'll just let the click track play and I'll play along to that, and it will show me how many bars that section was. So then I know, okay, well, that section is 8 bars. So then I'll do that for the next section, which will be the verse, let's say. So then I just click and drag. We'll say the verse is going to be 16 bars, which would bring us to 24 here. There we go. So we have section 2, rename that verse. And I don't mind this color, so I'm going to leave that color there. And by you going through each section individually, playing along, it's going to help you to really understand your song a little more. And sometimes you might figure out oh, you know what? I don't like that little extra part that I added in there. I'm going to take that out so the song fits together nicely. Or maybe I want to add a little section in, and you can do that as well. So this really helps you to get that structure of your song and get your song figured out before you even start recording. And if you really want to use this like a songwriting tool, then maybe you can set it up with some typical lengths. Like an intro, the maximum I would do for an intro is the 8 bars. And for my song, I actually have singing in the intro, so it's a little bit better. But usually I like my intros to be very short. When you're an unknown artist, you want to get to the point right away. So try not to make your intros too long. And then your verses, typically a verse is going to be between 8 bars, 16 bars, and sometimes 10, but there really is no rule on this. You can even do 12 bars. So you can look up song structures on the internet. So if you're doing like, say, a pop song, you can look up typical pop song verse length, and then you'll see how many bars that should be. And you can start to just create these sections. So say you know you want your song to be verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, something like that. Then you can look up how long a pop song verse is going to be, how long a pop song chorus should be, and that sort of thing. And you can continue on to create your song and then build it within those bounds. And I've done that before. It's very useful as a songwriting tool, but typically I just use this before recording to create that roadmap for my song. All right, so now I have a project open that I just kind of threw some information in. This is actually the song that I'm working on. I just wanted to throw some info in here to show you some of the cool features that we can do by using the arranger track. So say we wanted to move this between chorus part that I have here. Maybe we want to take that right out. So what we can do is just click on it, and you can see when we click on it, it highlights everything underneath. And if we had more and more tracks, it's going to highlight everything that's under it. So you can click on that, then right click, and we can delete it, and it's deleted everything. Then we can just click on to each one of these. You could either click and then hold down Control and click on each one, or you can click on this one, then hold down Shift and click there, and it's going to select everything. And now we can just move it all back, and it's moved everything along with it. So we just easily took out an entire section of our song and moved everything with very little effort. So another cool thing is we can duplicate a section. So say this verse isn't as long as I wanted it. I wanted it to be twice as long or something like that. I could right click on it, duplicate, and you can see it just created a duplicate of that whole verse. And you can shrink things down if you wanted. You can do that, and you notice everything gets shrunken down, and we could move everything over if that's something we wanted to do. And if we wanted to copy this, say, to the end, or any section to the end, let's say we wanted to copy this chorus right here and put it after this one. So I could just click on it, make sure everything's selected, hold down Control on my computer keyboard, then click and drag to there, and you can see it's copied everything to the end. And you can also do the same thing, and we can put it in between sections. So let's do that. So I'm clicking. I'm going to hold down Control on my computer keyboard, then click and drag. And let's say we want it right here before this verse. I'll let go. And it's just moved everything over. It's that easy. And what I normally do to go along with this is I'll create empty tracks for all of the instruments and vocals that I want to go in it. And then that way I know, okay, I've recorded bass for up to here. I know I need to record bass for these parts over here, or I need to copy the bass and put it over there. And I have these scratch drums in here, but if I had drums and I only had them up to here, I would know I need to create drums for those sections. And I would have my guitar tracks in here, and I could see where I need to put guitars and that sort of thing. It really is a roadmap for your song, and it's going to help you to complete your song because you can see the start and the end, and you know exactly what you want to go in between. If you decide to use this trick, let me know down in the comments how it goes for you. And if you want to check out even more Cakewalk tutorials, click up here. or click over here to see what YouTube recommends. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. For Audio Tech TV, I'm Zane. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.